Story 1. Spectator Mode. Explore the universe, different timelines and alternate universes. Watch historic moments, see dinosaurs, find out if aliens exist somewhere. See how humanity ends and what comes after. It would be incredible. Story 2. I do not believe this sadly, but I would love to be reunited with anyone that means the world to me, including my beloved pets. I want it to be a beautiful paradise with no sadness, hurt, or pain. I want any animal that has been abused to be there and feel love. Story 3. A museum gallery of every good and bad memory of my life, so I can replay it from start to finish and pause when I need to appreciate what I had not previously. Story 4. Some of us have had really rough lives, so the thought of peace, love, and forgiveness we didn't get on Earth is extremely valuable there. I had a near-death experience, and that's exactly what you get. Took me months to stop longing to be back there, and even in my darkest moments, I still beg to go back home. There is no shame. Story 5. I would actually really love to wake up in that field that comes right after crossing the Rainbow Bridge. The field that has the softest, greenest grass you've ever seen. The sun is shining. There are birds and squirrels and all other pets that crossed that bridge before. And here they are, running towards you. All the beloved pets that are so happy to see you. All of them are young and fit again with no pain or sorrow. And you just sit down on the grass and pet them all for eternity. Story 6. I'm keen on the idea of having the option to start over from a previous save point and live your life making different choices to get a whole new outcome. Story 7. I wish I believed in an afterlife. My wife has been gone for 3 years now, and the idea of living another 30+ years without her is depressing. But seeing her in some sort of afterlife would give me something to look forward to. I, however, don't believe there is anything. Story 8. I don't believe in an afterlife, but I really hope there's a query prompt. Before I met my wife, what's the closest I ever came to meeting her? How many times in my life did I come close to dying? How many times did I pleasure myself? I want the ability to review everything that happened. Story 9. Low-key, I would want there to be some kind of cozy afterlife where I could just relax with all my loved ones who passed on and finally get answers to all the mysteries of the universe. Like a big peaceful place with endless snacks, cute animals, and maybe even a rewind button so I could rewatch my favorite memories. That would be amazing. Story 10. I want to be with all the people I've lost and will eventually lose, and I'd like it to be a reincarnation thing. Ascend, see the people I love, replay the things I've learned, and continue on, learning more as I go. Always getting a chance to see those kindred spirits again. Story 11. Want to drive a car at 200 kilometers per hour through traffic? Go ahead. Crash? You can decide whether to no-clip through it or just crash without consequences. Maybe the traffic is stationary. Who knows? It's your sandbox. Want to meet 2007 spec Katy Perry? There she is. Want to eat the greatest Michelin star meal? Be my guest. Want to lick the bottom of a garbage bin and taste it for precisely 0.2 of a second and then have the flavor wiped from your taste buds? Yep, you can do that too. Want to experience playing Beethoven's Fifth? What about playing it in front of a giant football stadium? Sure. What about exploring the stars and planets? Find out if anything is beyond the edge of the universe. Yep, sure can. Sandbox mode would be amazing. I spend a fair bit of time thinking about it. Story 12. While I do not believe this will be the case, I want a meadow. In this meadow, I will not have to deal with bugs or anything unpleasant like that. The weather and time of day will always be perfect for my mood. There will be a farmhouse with a porch that has a porch swing on it. I will have a garden where I can grow all my favorite plants, and there will be flower fields all over my meadow. Inside the farmhouse, I will have a really comfortable bed, but I will not sleep there often because I would rather lay in the grass and stargaze or watch the clouds drift by. Story 13. I've had faith for quite some time. I want to take my last breath on earth and my next breath in heaven. I want to see Jesus and thank him for sparing me on several occasions and thank him for all he's done for me. I know faith in Christ isn't everyone's cup of tea, and that's okay. Love you all anyway. I want to see my friends and family that have gone on before, Meet my big sister Mary, who passed as a baby. I wonder what kind of little brother I would have been. I want to see my father without his wheelchair walking straight and, well, not tall because he was kind of short. And I want to see all my dogs and cats and zebra finches. The fish, not so much. Especially, I want to be free of this constant pain and loneliness. It weighs on me like an anchor, holds my spirit down, and makes me wonder why I stay. I'm sorry, I know it sounds like I'm complaining, but sometimes I get going, and it's hard to stop. Too long didn't read. It's okay, it doesn't matter anyhow. Story 14. This won't be an original thought, but I just can't see how the idea of a heaven could ever make sense in the way we think it does. Say the ideal heaven is everyone gets their cherished family members and friends and all the pets they've ever had, etc. Unless each one of those was a personal instance clone reality, then it would never work because, say, you and your now ex-partner both love the dog. Who gets the dog? What if you still love your ex? Are they destined to be with you in heaven, but it's not their heaven? If in your heaven they're with you and in theirs they aren't, surely the break with reality cheapens heaven and makes it less satisfying? Your loved ex is now split in two. I think Dante said heaven is meeting God and becoming one with God and leaving all earthly possessions behind. This makes more sense to me. But in a way, it's a little sad because everything we hold dear as humans is let go. Your partner, your kids, etc. Do they become meaningless at death? You basically cease to become yourself, and therefore, can you even experience an afterlife? For me, I'm struggling to find an afterlife that isn't a paradox. I'll be honest, I'm not a philosopher, so I haven't thought that hard about this. But to me, either an afterlife is a false reality, or it makes everything you've lived for feel meaningless. I think in reality, we just die, and that's it. Would I like to live on? Of course, I don't want to not exist anymore, but I can't see how it's possible unless you become something other than yourself. Story 15. Whatever it is, hopefully something in which I retain my sense of self and mind. As far as I'm concerned, at death, when my brain breaks down, I cease to exist and my mind is annihilated. If there is any sort of afterlife, I want to feel like I am me and not just be absorbed into the unknown and digested. Maybe end up as something else, sort of like reincarnation, but not necessarily bound to being recycled back into Earth. I want to know what it's like to go from being human to being a cosmic being that comprehends time at a scale of millions of years. Story 16. After my wife and I both die, I would love the opportunity to live another lifetime with her. Whether spiritually through reincarnation or in an alternate reality where our consciousnesses ascend to after they leave this human body. As long as she is there, that's all that matters. Story 17. I want it to be that life is an elementary school for humans. When you die, you wake up in a San Junipero-style simulation in the far future. The ups and downs of real life are what set your personality and wisdom. If you were born and lived in paradise, you'd be doomed to repeat the past. When you wake up in the simulation, you now have the education of real life and what matters. That's what I hope. I'd live a paradise simulation life eternally very differently and try to do good. Story 18. I imagine it as sitting in a pub half filled with important people in my life. Grandma, mom, dad, brother, sister, friends. There's a fireplace and music playing, and it's cold and rainy outside. Every time the door swings open, another old friend walks in for a long hug, a beer, and a laugh for eternity. Story 19. I want to know all the things about the universe that we don't have the capacity to know with current science. Where it came from, what it came from, where it's going, and what happens when all the energy is expended. Yeah, I have watched this too much. Story 20. I'd like reincarnation, but only if I can ensure I have a normally functioning body that doesn't get 3 new incurable health issues per year. Because at this rate, I can only hope I'll live past 50. Story 21. I've seen several people die or be near death as a nurse, and they all talk about family or friends that they loved. I really hope it's that. I hope it's people we love and a release of the anger, sadness, and pain that seems to be inextricably tied to being human. In short, I'm hoping it's an eternal extension of the happiest moments of our life. Story 22. My dogs. Other people's dogs I loved, I would want to be able to live and spoil. I would just want to escape the cycle and learn without all the strife and struggle this universe has. Story 23. I want every religion to be true, and if you are an atheist, you can go to a void or get reincarnated. You can choose whatever religion and go there. I think it would be cool and no one would be wrong. Story 24. I've always had the joke that I want heaven to have a place where I can watch documentaries of crimes that were unsolved on Earth. Like who killed John Bonet and why? Who killed the boy in the box? Mysteries of the past and so on. I just want to know about all the weird things I've questioned in life that don't have answers. Story 25. I do not want the religious version of heaven or hell, since they are too judgmental, cruel, stressful, noisy. I desire peace, quiet, health, and safety. I desire to endlessly and peacefully walk through flowers and forests. I desire gentle golden lights and clouds. I desire to visit and help the living. I desire to quickly travel throughout the universe, endlessly and peacefully seeing, hearing, and learning. I will be with positive, kind beings or none at all. No struggling, surviving, crying, questions, tears, noise, punishment, or religion. Just being strong, healthy, youthful, beautiful, smart, safe, happy, quiet, and harmless. Walking on peaceful pathways. Freedom and peace. Story 26. I want ghosts to be real and I want to be one. My biggest regret in life is that I won't get to see humanity expand beyond the Milky Way. Being a ghost would help with that. And I want there to be a way for you to accept when your time is over and just fade into a dream. Story 27. I want nothingness, like before I was born. But after seeing one reply, I would like to just forever chill with all of the furry babies I had for eternity. That sounds like heaven. Just them though, no people. I've had enough of people. Story 28. Exploration of the universe. Team up with your loved ones to do it together when they pass. We figure out that our actual plane of existence is a level above where we are now. We explore together until we decide, let's try this planet together. We are born and experience life connected to one another in some way. We exit and come back to our higher plane, remembering all the other lives we had together. We explore further and again decide on our next drop into existence. Some lives are epic, some are terrible, some are just fine. The different level of consciousness makes eternity comprehensible and meaningful. We learn and grow. What's next? Maybe we know, maybe we don't. Story 29. I never really wanted there to be anything after death. All of the options I had heard presented didn't sound very enjoyable. But then I had my daughter, and I discovered this new type of sadness that stems from the fact that, even if neither of us dies prematurely, there will still be a big chunk of her life that I never get to see, where I won't be there to celebrate her victories or pick her up after her failures, to help her into the end of her own life, to be there to hold her hand when the lights go out. I didn't have her until I was 35, which shortens that time frame considerably. So, if anything, I think I would be content with at least a window through which I could check in on her from time to time. Added bonus if I could somehow let her know that I'm still there. Story 30. A long table full of all the friends and loving family, and food you can eat and not gain weight. Pets are there. We have a fabulous time even though time has no meaning. Then we learn all there is to know. There's a big party and we come back to Earth and do it all over again, this time doing better. Story 31. No heaven and no hell. You die and are completely unaware you are dead. Just like how you had no knowledge of the billions of years before you were born. Story 32. I honestly just want to be reincarnated. I want my mom to reincarnate as my mom in my next life with me because the thought of spending any kind of existence without her pains me with such immense grief and sadness. Story 33. Honestly, I am fine going back to the way it was before I was born. I mean, that does seem to carry the risk that I may be born again, but honestly, if I died and then woke up in an afterlife or some new life and knew that I had died and this was the afterlife or some new life, then I would be like, Jesus, not more of this crap. I thought we were done with this. Story 34. That I will see all my loved ones who passed before me, including all my pets. That everyone is kind, healthy, strong, happy, and at peace. I want there to be a feeling of absolute peace and love, no anger or negativity. I want to be able to move from one type of weather or temperature and different landscapes by just thinking about it. I want to feel like any past lives I have, I will remember and can come back to live another life if I wanted to be able to watch over my loved ones. I don't ask and want much. Story 35. I always wished for something like a great computer or something like a person who really has all the answers for every one of my questions. Big or small, like what's the meaning of life? How many species haven't we found? Is there life on other planets? Did Jenny from 5th grade love me back? Did my brother lie to me in the summer of 2005? Really, there are some answers, especially those small, niche, unique ones that we'll probably never know in life. So that's why, after death, I wish I could at least find these answers, even if it's just for me, for my afterlife, or just before a big black void of nothing. I really wish for this. Story 36. Either a spectator mode where I can observe things after my death, alternate realities, etc. Or just your classic heaven paradise where everything is awesome and all my loved ones who passed and old pets are there. Or maybe just get reincarnated at another point in time. Imagine living in the Roman Empire or ancient China.